All
What's
right.
up?
The sky.
I was talking to the audience. We're playing this again.
We sure are.
We're playing this game. Now
The
we're gonna move on
adventure
to
of the runaway room.
the beginning of the adventure of the runaway room. Yep. That sentence makes sense. But here we go. Wait, this is actually a cutscene, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Alrighty, then I'll shut up.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident,
I believe that perhaps that case was indeed
the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together.
I'll never get over Herlock Sholmes.
My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives. This country is incredible.
Ondin King.
The center of the world.
My god, that breath! Was it just me or did that Brian's Coker look really weird?
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure. I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
Woo!
Man.
Welcome to Great Britain's capital, London. Oh hey, it's this week.
Mhm.
18th February 9/21. God, that is such an annoying sound. Anyway.
Felt that.
What an incredible place!
It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating.
This place is breathtaking. Looks like a fortress. Does this look like a fortress to you?
There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. I'm giving her a bit strong of a British accent, I think.
Yeah, I noticed.
An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wooden paper most of our buildings are constructed from.
It's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. What is this place again?
This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain.
The Lord Chief Justice. Oh, I'm getting a call from Spam Risk.
Yo, answer it.
No.
I got a spam call earlier while I was eating lunch. I
What did you
answered
say?
it. I
What
said
did-
hello, and they started speaking very quickly in Spanish. I listened for a couple of words. You know, anything like
Like, if you want us to speak English, press 1. But no, I didn't hear anything like that, so I just hung up.
Okay.
We had instructions to report here at this time. If circumstances were different, we were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan.
I'm gonna turn down the game audio just a teensy bit.
Okay.
It's a bit loud on my end. There we go. But Kazuma can't.
No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity, as envoys, to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death.
Yes.
And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done.
So, we'd have to return to Japan.
If we want to remain here in Great Britain,
I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour.
yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer.
Which is what I've been studying for.
Here in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London.
I hope I'm up to scratch. Oh shit.
Good luck.
I wasn't prepared for this. I need to look at this guy again. Because we were having this conversation before.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let me look at him. That's right! Oh. Shit. Shit!
Man, give him a thick British accent.
I trust you aren't too exhausted from your long voyage from Japan. Yeah. It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies.
1
Oh.
hour?!
Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I'm Maelstrom.
How do you pronounce the word maelstrom? Like vortex?
Oh, Maelstrom.
Yeah, that's where his name comes from.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. I am Mael Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. And I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot.
Come on, Mr. Naruhodo, don't be a mouse.
Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Yes, thank you.
Present! Oh no, I just wanted to do like the Ace Attorney meme where we just show everyone our badges.
I'm doing it after this.
Please.
So, what are your impressions of our capitals?
It's a little quiet, or you're a little quiet.
I know I am, because the microphone is far away and I need to try to focus on reading the screen while keeping it far away from the fan. This sucks. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, help. I remember since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city!
It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh?
We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I'm almost lost for words.
I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water, and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded.
Oh yes, astounded is the word.
Thanks for saving me there, Sato-san.
And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor.
Yes. I like that. Those one-word responses after like a long animation are always really funny to me. There's much excitement about the upcoming Great Exhibition we will be hosting here in London. Great Exhibition. Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop.
Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be.
Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center. What the fuck is happening? I need a moment.
Understandable.
London is the center of the modern world. If you do say so yourself. The sun will never set foot on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times, we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Hey,
Hey, look at my armband.
see my armband? Oh shit, wait, no, I want to present it. Lord Strongheart, may I show you this? To accept this item, issue a receipt, examine it thoroughly, and make a formal statement of finance would require something in the region of 24 seconds of my time. Sorry? Does the item warrant 24 seconds of my time, Mr. Naruhodo? Let's leave it for now. Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. Mr. Kazuma Asogi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news.
Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person.
They tell me you Japanese are people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed.
If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart.
What do you have to say, madame?
It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal.
Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo, this is it then. Well, what's all this then? This is it then. The moment of truth. Let's continue that study tour. The thing is, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead. Don't misunderstand. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead, but without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country, and that was Mr. Asogi. At least, that is what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well after all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man.
Oh my god, this whole conversation is just reaction images.
You could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I going to say? There is someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer.
It's Mrs. Ethel!
I'm not gonna say.
You should, say it!
Come on.
I want to know what the dialogue is.
probably only be... Yes, Mrs. Sato! An unusual introduction, but I presume you mean this charming lady beside you. You're a lawyer, are you? That look she's giving me, after all the days of hard work she put in to help me study, I can't let her down now. I think that's quite enough joking. Don't you, Lord Strongheart? My real answer is... It's me. I can do it! Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... No qualifications, you see. And yet you still claim to be a lawyer. I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I had Cosimo to help me, and I was the accused. But glossing over the details. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here in Great Britain to study. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Buria. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training. I realize it's far too short a time period, but I can't just go back to Japan. Mr. Asogi's journey has only just begun. Coming here on this study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know I must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance, that's all I'm asking for. Please!
Phew.
31 seconds. Sorry? Your opening statement there, Mr. Nedumoto, it was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. Huh? But let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yes? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Well... Yes, that's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? Tests. I hate tests. Tests suck. So, what form will the test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Nutterhobo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Huh? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news. Today?
Straight away.
If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler? How do I get myself into these situations?
Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart?
Yes, good question. I remember.
A murder trial.
It's a murder trial.
Murder!
An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. That's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death. Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably, you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law.
We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with a man's life.
I'm the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? No, I can't. There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose. So the defendant may live or die, depending on how well I perform in court. If I lose, I'll be hanged. Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you'll need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. It's testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be? What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? I'll do it. Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it. I can't get the words out. 15 seconds. Your decision-making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So, it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry? You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the East tomorrow. This conversation is over.
That's such a... Jesus. That's Sprite.
Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance.
Mr. Naruhodo.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Sata, but what could I do?
It's all right. I understand.
You do?
It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it.
What are you trying to say, madame? I think what Mr. Sato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable. And I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand on the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. Sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. That was a horrible line reading. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful! But that is the truth.
Why does it have to be like this?
Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. really his only hope. So, what do you say now, madam?
Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve.
Oh,
Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. Bye.
The way you delivered that, it was like one of those memes where it's like,
object!
and then he just disappears. What the fuck? Where did he go?
He's gone.
The Old Bailey.
Off we go. I'm still eating my cookie. Shut up.
I know you are.
If we're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo, we must leave at once.
You can still talk with me. For some reason. Like...
What? No, I'm not gonna waste time.
That's true.
Oh. Hey, those guys still have no eyes. So that's it.
Susato, please. Why is it that you don't talk at all in the beginning of the game, but the second I get a line, or the second you start to speak, I'm eating?
The second she starts to speak, you're eating a fucking cookie.
Bruh. Alright, well my cookie is done now, so...
Okay.
Problem solved.
Oh, thank goodness we're in time. There's still 15 minutes before the trial begins.
I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose.
Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from the Herlock Sholmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly.
I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege.
Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started.
Yes, I suppose there's that.
Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all.
Until he appears out of thin air.
So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants so wait and grand.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed.
Yes. Whoever the man you are to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment.
Oh my god.
Do I have to? I should probably do it because you've got the prosecutor.
It's Sir Raleigh the Frog, right?
Yeah, but like you've got the prosecutor, so I'll take him.
I can do it
unless
if
you really want him.
I don't know what I'd do for him though.
Alright, I don't know what I'm gonna do either, but anyway.
We'll roll with it.
Top of the morning to you, madam, sir.
I tell you, this is Sir Raleigh the fucking Frog in human form.
What are you doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, are they?
Sorry?
Irish? Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the east, are you?
Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the east, are you?
Oh shit, do it.
We're from Japan, yes. Ah, Japan, is it? Right, say no more. So, how much do you need? Sorry. No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, all while in a strange, faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand! 'Tis grand! Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now.
1,000 guineas?
Please, Mr. Subtle, you don't have to shout.
But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo.
What? Oh my god, I can't do him. I'm sorry.
'Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over.
That much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Hit me in the eye!
Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it, no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me.
Huh?
To be honest, is a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me, good self here. I'll be in the dock. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now.
Oh, well, the thing is...
Don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial's gonna start without me having any kind of representation at all.
So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up.
I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial?
Bluster and blazes, do yous not know who I am? Me, one of London's biggest names.
No, sorry. We've only just arrived in the city, you see.
I see. Suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there in the centre of London is another beautiful park.
Sorry? A park? What?
'Tis called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated to the city, so I did.
An entire park in central London.
A city of smiles, that's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its queer old people.
Fuck, you're hard to do.
Amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. Yeah, I don't think I have a good voice for him either.
But now they've the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask you?
All right, don't pass out.
Mr. Naruhodo, perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath.
Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students, on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best.
What was I after saying, you daft idiot? I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I?
Yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you.
Oh, I think I see what's going on here.
Sorry?
I know what you're thinking. This chance of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it, that's the only explanation. Well?
Well... I kind of was.
Do it.
Yes, exactly!
What now?
Well, like you said, if you have all the money but you don't have anyone to represent you in court, there's no other logical conclusion than that you're guilty of the charges.
Well, you call a spade in the East, so you do.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean any offense. I still can't express myself very well in English, you see. And I'm never sure what's acceptable to say and what isn't, so...
Is that so? Because you sounded fluent enough when you were telling me what a black god I must be.
I'm terribly sorry.
I can't say that I'm blame you for thinking it, fella.
It is a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean.
That would be the fault of the Reaper.
Sorry? Did he just say Reaper?
Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Baroque Van Zeeks. He's the prosecutor.
The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper.
When Van Zeek stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned.
What?
So it's reached a desperate situation where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey.
Goodness. Lord Baroque Van Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then.
Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed.
Cursed? What on earth?
The defendant is summoned and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin.
His counsel? That would be me.
Oh, 'tis time. Well then, fella, don't let me down.
I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened.
Until you showed your face here. I made up me mind, so I had.
Sorry?
I decided I have to defend myself in there.
How would that have worked?
But then you made an appearance, a student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now, please.
This guy's
You're
a
like-
fucking twat.
Jesus!
I don't know British, like, swear words.
That sure is a swear
Yeah,
word.
that's definitely one.
Pretty
like-
severe one too.
Are you serious? Fuck.
Yeah.
I've just heard it a few times, I'm sorry. He's a real muffin eater, isn't he?
Muffin!
I literally know nothing about the case, or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him.
Mr. Naruhodo.
The man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen.
Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand.
I'll be right there. I didn't realize it was talking. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this.
Here we go.
Here we are.
Fuck, this
Great.
looks
Yeah.
sexy.
God damn. What the fuck?
Literal fucking fire.
So this is the highest court in Great
Wait, stop. Oh my god, they added it! Okay, so, a bit of lore. You see that little kind of flowery mark on the back of
Yeah.
Ryunosuke? Yeah, so Susato actually sewed that there. The reason she sewed it there was because it's a protective charm. She doesn't want the same thing that happened to Kazuma to happen to Ryunosuke. That's the reason she sewed it there. And that actually wasn't present in the original DS version or 3DS version of the game. That was added in the second game, even though it was lore from the first game. So it's cool that they actually added it in the first game.
Maybe they just reused the model. Anyway.
Well, yeah, but still, they added it, which is nice.
Yeah. So this is the highest court in Great Britain, the Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan.
It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant.
This is just that meme that's been spreading around lately.
Wait, of like the...
Yeah!
Yeah.
Like the dude's boob.
Yeah, like
then-
this is the dude
And
like...
then the girl like looking over like
Like, how?
like what?
Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair.
There it is! It's perfect! Fuck, this is good! Shit.
May I say something, Mr. Naruhodo?
I heard the Skype notification. Oh, yes, what?
Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again.
I know, but I just can't help it.
Oh. Should I take the judge?
I can do the judge.
Okay.
Maybe. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session.
Actually, no. Give him to me. I want him.
Okay.
You have the prosecutor. You're gonna be going back and forth between.
That's true. I have to deal with prosecution, defense, and judge.
Yeah. So I'll take the judge.
We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded.
I feel like I can do the judge though. Like seriously.
I now.
Do you want to do him?
I mean, like, I feel like if I can give him like a really relaxed voice, like, I now call upon the counsels of the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
I like that a lot. Okay, you do it.
Prosecution is fully prepared.
Holy shit!
That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld.
Get a little closer to your mic.
I know. Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. I couldn't be further from ready if I tried.
Fuck.
Those eyes please me. Nipponese.
Holy shit! Holy fuck!
They shroud you in fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. Quintessential look, the sacrificial lamb. Are you okay?
No, it's just like the way you like whispered it was. Oh my god, that sent shivers down my spine.
Good?
Yes, good.
Okay. A cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. Now, Mr. McGilded.
Yes, my lord?
Wouldn't it be funny if I was voicing everyone in this scene?
I would eat you! I would like, please!
You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner?
Bruh, the casual racism.
As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fellow's a student from some little island off in the Far East. Is it not the most British way? Huh? Oh. Is it not the British way to ignore the danger to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? I like to think that acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud.
Mr. McGilded!
What a fine gentleman London has in it.
donated £5,000 to the government the other day!
Mother, please, may we go and play in McGilded Park?
It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded.
That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded. Most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. You ready to proceed?
Knife juror, knife juror.
Oh my god. I don't think I'm ready for this. But here we go.
We've got a huge cast. Let's go for it.
Got a big old cast. Alright.
Yes, my lord. If the task is to send brothers to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready.
At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree.
Ha! Any criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me.
Nice. One less voice.
I feel a chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson.
Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, those people are...
The jury. Yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet.
That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view.
But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict?
That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses.
Yes. Prosecutor Van Zieks.
Fuck.
My lord. Are you okay? Jesus.
No, I love your, like, fuck, I love that voice that you do.
That's good. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in this courtroom. I thought you renounced your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. So what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance of which the court should be aware? I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years.
Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback?
Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruhodo.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. We must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. Sorry? Thrice? He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard. Thank you, Counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence. The autopsy report has been entered into the court record. The photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And these are... Good lord! Is that blood, Counsel? Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? Mr. McGilden's gloves had blood on them?
What the fuck is he doing? What is that stupid stance? Did you see that? You see how his hands were just there? Like, they weren't joined together or anything. He was just holding them behind his back like that. What a dumbass.
I will accept these as evidence as well. Defendant's left gloves have been added into the court record. Fuck. How did I get into this? Backed into a corner before I've even started.
There's more?
To the driver of the omnibus.
Get a little closer.
There were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2. Obviously, those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilden. Rather damning circumstances, to say the least. That's the first time they've said damn!
No, I think they said damn sometime earlier in the game.
Did they say damning? I've never noticed.
Yeah, I think Katsuma said it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing.
Mr. McGilden!
To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
Ah, that sounds familiar.
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord, lilting so it is, and when I opened my eyes again, it was a desperate sight before me, the body of a man I never laid eyes on before in me life. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give a man a hand.
So the blood got onto the gloves then, after the man had been killed? Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning. What? That's not all of it? There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed.
Retro Scoob.
Order! Order! Order!
What is it? Ordar? What is that? Huh.
When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Thank you, Counselor. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Oh, thank God it's not like, well,
Yeah.
that sounds conclusive to me. Guilty. Like, you know.
Your wish is my command. Bailiff! Bring the witnesses in at once!
Fuck. Oh man, your voice is so good. God damn.
Thank God. Oh my God, it's these 3!
Alright, you take the Abe Lincoln fucker. I'll take the other 2. Please, I need voices.
Your names
Suffering.
and occupations. Your names and occupations.
My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End.
Son of a bitch. Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city.
My name's First. Lady First. I make hats for gents.
Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right.
Yes, sir. That's right, sir.
Very well then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
I can't believe I'm giving this man a mean voice.
faster.
I'm having a blast though, so it's worth it.
Yeah.
It was the last bus of the evening, so I had few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed. I did. Couldn't help it.
As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too.
Unambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes. I'd like to ask a question, if I may. I don't know why I'm... What? That was horrible. Yes, counsel? Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Why not? Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it? As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes. Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage. How quaint. I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus?
No, we literally just got here today.
Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning.
Isn't it like 10 a.m.? What the fuck time did they
It's
wake
10
up?
a.m. No matter.
Jesus.
I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves. The actual scene of the crime, that is. What do you mean? The actual scene? How? A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much. Yes. The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building. Here? What? The entire carriage? Bailiff! Bring forth the stricken omnibus!
He's so dramatic. Damn, they just brought that shit into the courtroom, huh?
Yeah, they sure did. And they split the witness stand. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing. As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses, and you can carry up to 8 passengers. I love this song.
Oh my
4
god.
passengers
Yeah.
seated inside the enclosed cabin, and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight on the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above. Ah, a skylight. Oh! The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight. Ah, that makes perfect sense. Well, counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish. Very well. I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence. The omnibus has been entered into the court record.
Alright, now, you know what we do?
What do we do?
Go in and investigate it.
Alrighty, yeah. That's a good idea.
Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we?
Seat of a murder. It's horrible. Oh, well, there's your blood. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously.
Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Would you really stab somebody in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder?
Well, it was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was planned, like it was a planned attack. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it?
Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck.
And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin at least.
And check the other seat.
That's a good idea. Hey, what the fuck? Handle. The seat has a handle, it seems. Should.
You have your stuff inside.
Don't act like you don't know what this is.
No, I'm serious. I've actually never seen this before.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running.
Feeding tubs, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems.
There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow their luggage, that's for sure.
Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway.
Hmm. Is this just the same dialogue?
Probably. Yeah. Ooh, Crystal Tower.
Ah, that's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition.
Ah, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event.
What about this thing? Ah, that's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to... Okay, are you serious?
Oh, it's the same thing on both sides. Huh. Alright.
Okay, can I investigate anything else? Probably not, right?
We might.
There's
Hold on.
a lot
Let's
of
try
this.
leaving again.
Yeah, I
Let's see if we
imagine...
can investigate the top.
Well, I mean, I figured it would be the top, right?
Have you seen enough? Let's step back outside then.
Okay, so...
Phoenix Wright Omnibus! Hey!
Wow. I don't know if I could... Oh, I guess I can.
The skylight, I assume.
That looks like the bench.
So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here.
So people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with the cold air rushing past them. And they have to pay money to do so.
Ugh, I can't imagine how cold it must feel.
That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as a punishment?
Perhaps that is the real price you pay to stay out late.
Alright, I think that's everything.
Can we not see the skylight from up here?
Maybe.
You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure.
Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly.
That's not good for us. I assume
That should be
everything.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so I already said this.
Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary.
I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here.
Haha, we're already one step ahead of you.
Let us continue with proceedings then. Your cross-examination, counsel. Pray don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Alright. My first cross-examination in a British court. Focus, Ryunosuke. Focus.
やろうじゃないの。
Oh, that looks so cool.
Bum, bum,
It was the last bus of the evening.
Sat next to each other inside the bus. I'm gonna press this. Hold it! And you saw them through the skylight and the roof of the carriage. Oh shit, this is me. That's right. When you sit up on the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp on inside, so I had a pretty good view. I forget what his voice is. The two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. Voices. I wish I didn't drink water. Fuck. But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded. How can you be so sure? Well, how can I put it politely? Mr. McGilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else. Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There was no room for doubt here. I really wish there was. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
I want to press this.
Am I just gonna...
I want to press this. Oh, that's a good line, fuck.
You actually saw the exact moment it happened! Didn't I already testify to that? Well, a fair, dinkum, hard-working city banker's not considered trustworthy these days.
They're really not.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. I totally meant that, but I just want to be nice. This is no good. I've really got this back up. What? Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in the... My lord! What the fuck? Juror number 3. What's the meaning of this?
My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up.
Made up about what?
I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. They're always up to something or other that...
And the game crashed.
Oh no!
They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me.
Allah.
There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway.
Hold it! That is precisely what I was about to say!
Wait.
As the foreman of the jury, it is my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors. That's a pretty bad example if you ask me, dude. What is happening here?
Let me see. Yes. It seems that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts.
With fire?
Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago.
So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean...
Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Now I'm even more worried than I was before. Very well. The court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. This is a nightmare.
That's right, he stabbed him. I screamed, I did, couldn't help it.
He stabbed him, you say? And you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you?
Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I had been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out from his belly. That huge, great knife.
A grim sight indeed. That didn't help me at all.
Ruh-roh, Scoob.
Why do you keep on saying that?
Because Ruh-roh, Scoob.
What?
Because Ruh-roh.
Oh, I thought you were making a reference to one of the jurors.
No.
The jury look like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before.
That appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McGilded is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions.
Mr. First,
Oh, yes, sir.
is this the knife you saw?
Oh, grief. Yes, that's it. Very, sir.
Is that? Yes, Counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart. That is a blade of considerable size, Counsel. It is. And furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar. Please, no. M, for Magnus, perhaps? Or McGilded, possibly. Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Objection!
What the Whoa. But there are M's everywhere! Yes! Like in Mason!
Objection!
Whoa! This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No! This weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused! Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, Counsel. The murder weapon has been entered into the court record. Zeke's is fun.
My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption.
Juror number 2. Go on.
Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman, and a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However...
What? It went silent again. It's whenever they're giving their verdicts. It's like oddly specific.
Let me reshare my screen.
Those of us in service know we must accept hard truths.
Wait, what are you about to...
Dispose of the rubbish!
These scales sure do be tipping.
Oh, shit.
I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime.
Oh shit.
Hold it!
Hold it! I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion.
It went silent again.
Are you kidding me? You can't hear it?
No, I can't.
Your downstairs.
It's when they deliver the verdict.
I fucking
It's
hate
so
Skype.
specific.
Not again.
That's 4 out of 6 jury members who have proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left.
Had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse.
Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark.
I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that worst parts may well fly.
We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back.
What? All right, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again.
As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too.
Do you have any evidence? I have a knife. I can investigate this.
Yeah, we can examine it. M. That's not M. It's W for Wumbo.
That is the sheath, isn't it?
It's W for Wagnus Wick Gilded.
Wick gilded.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, sorry, yes, I just don't really like blades.
Oh. Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist.
Not a blade, that's Kazuma's soul. Anyway.
There's a
sense in-
difference.
God! I thought you'd know better by now, Susato-san. Let's see what the blade looks like. Yep,
Oh, that's some blood.
that do be looking pretty bloody, I won't lie. That looks like a lot of blood.
It surely is blood. The victims.
An Englishman's blood looks a lot like a Japanese man's blood.
Did you think it wouldn't?
Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust. Good.
Yes, I do understand.
Okay, look at the plate. The handle? No?
I guess there's nothing to look at.
Oh, well, that's pretty lame. That did not help
The
at all.
silo. Alright. Let's keep pressing. Oh yeah, we haven't examined this either. Man, Kazuya Nudi's art is always so good.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's keep pressing. I don't have much time anyways. What exactly did you see?
Oh, well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. He collapsed on the floor, he was.
And by the passenger, obviously you are referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaster. Maker, fuck.
And then the other passenger had the knife in his hand like this.
By the other passenger, obviously you are referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded.
And then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
What?
In the belly.
Order! Order! It's hard to believe with one of London's greatest philanthropists, but this is damning indeed. I forget his voice, honestly. I'm sorry. The law knows no philanthropists, my lord. Only the innocent and the guilty. Good deeds mean nothing when overshadowed by evil. The truth is everything.
I couldn't agree more, sir. The truth. So true, bestie.
Alright, so when it happened, the only two people in the enclosed cabin area were the victim and the defendant. And, so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend do the deed.
I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here.
What am I supposed to do to think here? Mr. McGilded really innocent? Could it be?
Before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at the moment.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witness statements again. A little more carefully this time.
Alright, let's press every one.
Let's press this bit. Basically the only one we still need to press. Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. That was right, sir. Yes, sir. It was so cold, freezing, in fact.
And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct?
Yes, that's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, though, no?
Bars? There were no passengers when the incident took place. No one alighted, for example.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah, I know.
You're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that. No, none.
So nobody fled the scene of the crime, then?
I have to say the boss insists on it running. He does. Every evening, that last bus of the day. But I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say.
What do you mean by that?
Well, what with it being so cold and everything, and only making it 20 pence on the run, you see. Yes, I spent that much at the pub on the way home just trying to warm up again. I just can't believe it, sir. Can't believe it. Murder on my own bus. It's too awful to think about. I haven't been able to shake this cold ever since it happened. God, this is fun.
Wow. Just wow.
God bless.
My
This is
lord, I
getting
wish
into
to speak.
Yes, juror number 5.
Do I take it that you too?
As the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself. But I've heard enough now. The horse has bolted, as they say.
No, please! Just keep an open mind a little!
Gee up now, Silver Blaze. The finish is in sight. Ah. Beppo is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says.
Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir.
Too unkind, sir. Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man.
Oh, shit. Please.
Only Granny.
Granny, please.
Madam Juror number 6.
Yes, dear. What can I do for you?
You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand.
Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know.
Then, pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning?
Yet.
Yet.
Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habits, me. I always go to the park at around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. The Gilded Park, it's called. The gentleman donated it to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life.
He's always doing wonderful things for the city.
That's right, a man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely.
Mother, you were going to the Gilded Public Library later, but
How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is? What kind of a man is he? The philanthropist Magnus McGilded has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly.
Can you turn up the game? I want to hear the song.
got you, Chief.
But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir! The one with the very darkest of souls! What?
Stone the crows!
Gilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard any mention of that before.
Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service? You're not saying that... The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts. Good gracious! The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, his pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him. His life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded! I don't believe it.
Hold it! If I might add something briefly.
Mrs. Sato.
You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. But where is the evidence to support your claim?
Where did that bottle come from? Where did that glass come from?
He's a vampire, man. He summons this shit out of thin air.
He also doesn't have a left arm. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hollow chalice in a court of law. There it is! Lord Van Zeek's hollow chalice! How can this be considered acceptable?
He just casually takes out wine in the middle of a trial.
But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I'd heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself.
As judicial assistant to the defense, I am simply doing my job.
What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside. Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. The tea, my lord. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time. A marvelous toast, Counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence. The debtor's ledger has been entered into the court record. Ah yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum, and the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense.
Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes.
Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused.
And it's such a pretty little park, too. What a scoundrel. Still, maybe it's all for the best.
Wait a minute! Let's think about this a little more before...
I don't stand for nonsense.
Oh, over.
Felt that.
That was it. That's juror's decision. Where's the Deus Ex Machina? Come on, Sato. You did it once before.
Come on, Sato, give us the Deus Ex Machina.
According to this encyclopedia of British law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here.
It's over then.
Oh! There's a footnote, though.
A footnote?
However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement with this case. We'll turn up the...
Yeah, a little. I don't know why Baroque's Thief is so quiet in comparison to everything else.
Yeah. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision. According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial.
Get a little closer to your mic.
By delivering my final verdict, I trust that there are no objections.
Igiari, 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 Igiari.
Sato, just tell me one thing.
Oh, yes.
You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your encyclopedia of British law. However, the defense... What did it say next?
Oh, yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. Summation examination.
A summation examination?
Objection!
It has a nice ring about it.
A summation examination? From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck.
Oh,
What even is it, Mrs. Soto? This so-called summation examination.
oh, one moment, and I'll read about it.
You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails? Typical Nipponese.
All right, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury.
To do what, exactly?
Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that, if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed.
Make them reverse their decisions? Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really, so it rather fell out of use.
I wonder why.
Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age.
Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
A summation examination. My last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat?
Damn, I wonder.
Assert our right. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord!
Objection!
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried!
Objection!
But if it's our right, it's our right! I believe it could prove vital in this trial! The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. This is madness. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? You know, I need to call it quits here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Here, let's get to like the little starting screen and then we'll stop.
I swear to God, if it takes another 30 minutes.
It shouldn't.
I'm already 10 minutes late.
Really?
I said I had to go at 2:30.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. That was almost 15 minutes ago.
I'm not. There was no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so. All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. What grounds? You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot.
This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before.
I don't really hold with all this justifying lot. That seems to have thrown the jurors off.
It seems none of them have experienced this before.
All right then. The summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe it might be the opportunity we've been looking for to turn this trial around. So be it then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant, Magnus McGilded, guilty of this most serious crime. Judicial findings. Jury's contentions.
Next time!
We'll pick this up next time. I gotta go to work.
Alright, bye-bye.
Yep, later, folks. Wait, shit. There we go.